Welcome back to the Little Marketing Podcast, where we share practical, real-life advice for Australian small businesses. Today we're going to dive into something that I'm sure that every small business owner dreams of, and that's how to make your small business more valuable. Not just ticking along, not just keeping the lights on, but building something that's genuinely worth more over time. A valuable business is a profitable business. I know that sounds obvious, but you'd be amazed at how many small business owners focus solely on just sales, social media followers, or even shiny new technology, and forget the one metric that actually drives value: profitability. So in today's podcast, let's talk about the simple formula that will help you increase these profits and the value of your business. The profitability formula. Profitability is all about the gap between your profits and your expenses. So the profit margin. It's the space between what comes in and what comes out. So the bigger the gap, the more profitable you are. If you picture it like a bucket, the revenue is the water going in and the expenses are little holes in the bottom of the bucket. If you keep pouring faster but never patch the holes, then the bucket never really fills. You might be wondering why you've doubled your sales in the past year, but there's still nothing in the bank. And that's exactly the point. If sales rise as quickly as your expenses do, for example, higher rent, longer staff hours, costlier ingredients, your profit margin is going to stay flat. Your business might be looking busy, but the value hasn't really improved. So first off, know your numbers, review them monthly, not just at tax time, because you can't widen a gap that you're not measuring. Charging properly. Now let's talk about the fastest way to widen that gap. And that's charging properly. This is where so many small business owners stumble, not because they can't do the math, but because of their mindset. There's a fear of scaring off customers, or there's a fear of competitors undercutting you. So if I share an example of a local cafe, they hadn't raised their prices in over 3 years. During this time, her coffee bean supplier had raised her prices twice, wages had gone up, and she was effectively giving away her profit. And then when she calculated a simple 50-cent increase per coffee cup, she realized that her profits were increasing and she was still in line with other cafes. And not a single regular left. Another example, a boutique hairdresser in Brisbane. So she specialized in color, but she was charging the same as every other generic salon. She then positioned herself as the color correction specialist and she lifted her prices accordingly. And her clients, they not only stayed, but they started referring their friends who were after the expert's touch. But won't I lose customers if I raise prices? Here's the thing, you might lose a few, but the customers who really value your service, the ones who really appreciate it, they're the ones who will stay. And the slightly higher price point usually attracts the right clients for you, people who respect your work and are less likely to haggle. Remember, you are not competing on price, you're competing on value. Become the specialist. So this brings me to the next part of the formula, which is specialisation. If you think about visiting a doctor, you go to see your local GP for general advice. But if it's anything specialised, say a heart check, you get referred to a cardiologist. And we all know that the specialist charges a whole lot more, but we're happy to pay it because we know that they're the expert in that field. And that's exactly how it works in small business. A boutique accounting firm in Melbourne, for example, decided to just focus on creatives. Instead of just general accounting, they decided to focus on accounting for creatives and designers. They understood the unique challenges of creatives, irregular income, project-based work, and because of that niche, they were able to charge a premium and became the go-to accountant for creatives and designers in Melbourne. Or take a landscaping business, for example. They stopped trying to be all gardens for all people, and they brought their niche down to native drought-resistant gardens. With Australia's changing climate, that focus not only made them the obvious choice, but it allowed them to charge at a premium price. When you position yourself as the expert in a narrow field, you stop competing with everybody else. Your expertise becomes more obvious and people are going to pay more for it. Positioning is everything. So how do you become that specialist? It starts with brand positioning, the place that you occupy in the minds of your customers. Positioning isn't just a clever tagline or a clean logo. It's the feeling people get when they hear your brand name. Are you the go-to builder for eco homes in Brisbane? the florist for unforgettable weddings in Melbourne, or the IT company that specialises in gaming venues. For example, a florist rebranded from Jane's Flowers to Ever After Weddings. She then shifted her website, her socials, everything to start talking about high-end weddings. Her inquiries actually started to drop by 20%, but her average client doubled, and she wasn't chasing the wrong clients, she was attracting the right clients. Positioning gives you the option to charge more because you're no longer just another option, you're the obvious choice. The chain reaction. So let's see how this flows. Clear positioning gives you focus. Focus then lets you become the expert. Your expertise then gives you the confidence to charge properly, and proper pricing then gives you healthier profit margins. And healthy profit margins leads to a super profitable business, which means it becomes a more valuable asset if you ever wanted to sell or even just take a step back. Quick action steps. Let's make it practical. Number 1, audit your prices. Compare your rates with the value you deliver. Are you undercharging? Number 2, identify your niche. Where can you be the specialist? Number 3, refine your positioning. Your website, socials, even your elevator pitch should reflect that niche. Number 4, communicate your value. Share testimonials, share case studies, or before and after photos. Number 5, check your numbers regularly. Profit margins aren't just a set and forget. Review them monthly so you can spot trends early. So what if my industry is already crowded? How am I going to stand out? And often the answer to that one is to find a micro niche. So you're not just a photographer, you're a photographer for pet-friendly family photos. Or you're not just a cafe, you're a cafe known for their locally sourced plant-based treats. These micro niches create loyalty and expertise. So to wrap up, profit margins aren't just about cutting costs. They're about knowing your value, positioning your brand, and being able to charge what you're truly worth. That's how you're going to make your business not only valuable today, but far more profitable in the long run. For you, for your family, or for anyone that's going to invest in your business in the future. If this episode gave you a few ideas, please share it with another fellow small business owner just like you. Help someone else charge what they're worth and create a stronger, valuable business. You can find out more by visiting our website at www.littlemarketing.com.au. You can visit our socials or even send us an email at ask@littlemarketing.com.au. And don't forget, you can catch every episode on Spotify, YouTube, or Apple Podcasts.
Please note that all the information provided on this podcast is general in nature and is not intended to be specific advice to your individual situation. Please be sure to engage a professional for a customized approach to your business and personal circumstances.